Welcome to another episode of Pacemaker clustered on SUSE and OpenSUSE, and in this episode also we'll be discussing about cluster implementation requirements. So before start with that, let me welcome you to my channel, that's the Rich Tech Institute, and if you have not subscribed to it, please subscribe to it and also press the bell icon to select all the notifications so that you get update about upcoming videos. So if you are following my channel and watching this tutorial series on Pacemaker, you already know in the requirement section we have already discussed about the HA implementation process, overview of that, and then we discussed about how you can collect the required parameters, and in the previous section we have discussed about how you can determine the expectations from customer. So in this section we will be discussing about how you can plan the storage. So let's start with planning storage. So first thing in the planning storage, you need to understand the requirements for storage. So most of the cluster use shared storage in most of the cases, but it is not a mandatory requirement. So in many places you will find like you don't need a shared storage. Like if you see for SAP HANA cluster, it doesn't need a shared storage. Rather, SAP HANA has its own mechanism by which it does the storage replication. So you have to understand whether you need to use any shared storage. Similarly, you need to understand what kind of services require a clustered shared storage, and in that, does that service require concurrent read write from multiple nodes. So this is the case when you see most of the time for active scenario. So if it is the service is active on multiple nodes, it may need a shared storage where it wants to write and read at the same time from multiple nodes. So in that case you will be requiring to have a cluster or log daemon, so that you already know DLM. That's what we discussed in our architecture part. So if you have not seen that, please go and watch that to understand this. And also you need to have a cluster or file system like GFS2 or OCFS2. This kind of file systems you need to use. Now if you need shared storage but only wants to read and write from only one node, that's the active node, in that case you can use any standard file system like XFS, ext4. That should work. It should not create any much problem. And also you need to understand whether your local storage itself is enough for fulfilling the requirement. So suppose you just giving the service like DNS service, so there you don't need much storage, so you can go ahead with a local storage. So that also you need to understand whether do you really need to have some centralized SAN or some kind of storage, or you can go ahead with the local storage. Now if you are going with a centralized storage, so you have multiple options in that. For shared storage, you can first thing you can use SAN. So SAN is nothing but is a enterprise grade and separate storage box with built-in fault tolerance, like it uses like RAID 0, 5, those kind of technologies to have better fault tolerance, better performance. So that is one option. If you don't want to go with SAN because that is costly, you can go with a much cheaper solution that's called iSCSI. You will not get that much better performance in iSCSI, but it will also give you a shared storage option where you can have a target built on many appliances. Also you can get it in much cheaper price compared to SAN. And then you can go with SAFE. So that is a SD, software defined storage. You can even go with DRBD. So DRBD is not actually a shared storage, but in DRBD what happens, you will have a standalone storage on each node, is not shared, and DRBD takes care of doing the replication of the data from one node to another node, so that all the nodes have the same current data. So that's a DRBD. DRBD you will come across most of the cases in cloud solutions, because in cloud you will not have much shared storage option. So in that case you need to use DRBD to have a same data sync between multiple nodes. Then you can go ahead always with external NFS or CIFS. So that is a network files here. So many solutions you will see they are using NFS or CIFS as a shared storage option. Now, after you go ahead with these things, you need to find out the hardware fault tolerance, and you need to mitigate all the single point of failures. In disk, it configures the RAID. So if you are using like SAN, so in SAN you can use RAID 5, and also that you have better performance and better fault tolerance. So if one disk goes down, still you have the parity check and all those mechanisms to recover the data and without impacting the client or losing the data. So like this you can plan your storage, and you can select whether you need shared storage or not. If you are going with shared storage, what kind of file system or how the usage will be that, and based on that and what kind of budget you are getting, you can select what storage solution you will use for your cluster, and you will try to make the fault tolerance in your design so that you eliminate all the single point of failures. So that's all for today's session. I hope you have liked this. So if you like the video, please press the like button, share it with your friends and colleagues, and if you don't like also, that's fine, press the unlike button. You can use the comment section to let us know about your thoughts so that we can improve our upcoming videos accordingly and try to fit in your requirements. So in our next episode, we will be seeing you, we will be discussing about what is 2-node cluster and what is 2 plus n node cluster, and what are the differences between them, and what is the special things you need to take care while designing your cluster with 2-node or 2 plus n node in the cluster. So till then, bye, have a good day. We'll see you in that next video.